Dave and I met at the Nashville airport, and we drove south towards St. Joe, Tennessee, with the idea of meeting up with this southern guitarist, Travis Wammack, who had a couple of regional hits in the early 60s with Firefly and the flip side Scratchy, you're hearing right now. I knew he was playing in a bar. I had the name of it, I had the name of the town, and we were going to try to find it.
Restview. Restview.
It's kind of restful to be here with the Crest Auto Parts. St. Joe, home of Travis Wammack.
This isn't his home. This is where he's playing for.
This is the town where he's playing. As you see, it's really a one-street town. We're looking for Parker's Lounge. This could be it right here. Is this it? Parker's Lounge. I don't know, 40 miles since we've seen a place to stay, any type of a hotel situation.
Not just subtle message to foreigners, I guess. You can drive through, you can even stop and eat, take a dump. That's as good as it gets. You ain't staying here. Northern fuckers. Northern and western fuckers.
Here's the town. Here's the town coming up. St. Joe Video and tanning.
Is that St. Joe?
Oh wait, here's their water tower coming up. Drive so fast we're gonna miss Parker's Lounge. St. Joe, Parker's Lounge, where the hell are you? Let's just knock on some doors and ask some people.
Oh, Civic Center down there? Should
yeah,
we
go, yes, of course. Of course, let's find the Civic Center. All these people are going to see Travis Wammack. You can see they come from miles around and stop at American.
Hi. Hey, we're looking for Parker's Lounge.
Parker's Lounge?
Yeah, you know where that is?
Yeah. Go back out and hit the highway.
Uh-huh.
Go straight that way towards the state line.
Okay.
And they're right there on the left side of the highway.
Okay.
You ever heard of Travis Wammack?
Sir?
Have you ever heard of Travis Wammack?
Yeah.
That's where supposedly he's playing there tonight.
Thanks.
All right.
We'll just turn around here.
You should ask him if he knows where a place to stay.
Okay. Buck, as you go past so you can buy himself a toothbrush. Give him a buck out the window and say, buy yourself a toothbrush.
Okay, go. Ask him if there's a place to stay.
Hey, one last question. Do you know if there's a motel around here someplace?
Not around here.
Okay, where would the nearest one be, you think?
Closest one, either Lawrenceburg or Florence.
Okay, thanks.
Uh-huh.
Which is closer, Lawrenceburg or Florence?
Probably closer to go Lawrenceburg.
Okay, thanks.
Shit, man.
Yeah?
There's not any place to stay there either.
We don't want to go back north. We're heading south if we go anywhere.
Thank you.
version, Night Train.
Oh yeah.
That drum, the very
That is
beginning,
insane.
is
What were you
the
thinking
most
about?
Insane start of that thing.
Yeah.
The
What was that
drums.
all about? That insane Night Train that
We
you
did.
did?
That was back when I was really. I mean, we were wild. And stuff.
Oh man.
But the drummer was 17 years old, and this kid, his name was Mike Reeves. He had a foot on him. I mean, if you can hear that bass drum, I mean, it was. And I had picked up the song from James Brown, and so I just did it my own way, and that was the way I wanted it. Things start off, and Roland James did a super job on that intro on that thing, because I mean, back then we were recording on single track,
Yes.
you know. But he had
That's
I mean,
amazing.
the tools he had to work with, he was unreal. I mean, and he had an echo chamber, and he made that thing. I mean, it just sounded like it's running through your speakers when it starts, you know.
It's wild. And then some of those songs, like on Scratchy, you get some really strange, otherworldly kind of.
I had built my own distortion unit back then.
You weren't using like a Magnatone amp or anything?
I had a Magnatone amp on some of the stuff, a Magnatone, and boy, I wish I could find one. If you find one on the internet, I'm looking for one. I used a Magnatone and a Fender, and then I had a distortion unit I had built out of an old tape recorder. And what I was doing, I was preamping. I was that recorder. I was turning it up, plugging in it, and I was using a wire with alligator clamps coming out of the tape recorder into the speaker of Fender, and overpowering that recorder, and it was giving me that distortion sound.
So it was on the recorder, and then it was coming out of the amp.
Yeah, and like a fool, Gibson came to me. Back in, I mean, I was like 16, I was cocky. Gibson came to me and had this fuzz tone they had just came out with. They wanted me to endorse it, and I plugged it in, and it sounded like. I said, man, this ain't my sound, you know, and I wouldn't do it, you know. I've kicked myself in the butt a bunch of times because it was called a Mastro Fuzz, I think. I walked into the studio over there, and I was, like I said, I was 16 years old, and this guy who was like the guitar player in Memphis at the time, Roland James, and I walked in there, and I told him I played guitar, and he wanted to hear me, and I played, and you know, he said, oh, I'd cut some on, you know. I said, okay, so we, you know, and I really appreciate, you know, him. This guy was the top guitar player down, and he gave me a shot, you know, maybe in 16 and everything. And, but yeah, the stuff back in, I have to credit him with the sound is unbelievable, because we didn't have monitor speakers, nothing, you know. And we'd go from an old Ampex recorder, we'd bounce over to a Magna recorder if we overdubbed, like on Louie Louie. I used an old drive-in speaker. I swapped an old drive-in speaker, these old metal kind of.
Right, yeah.
I swapped one of them, and
We all did.
I built me a distortion unit out of it, and that's what I used on Louie Louie. And I was playing a harmony, so we'd bounce back and forth, and Roland knew just how much highs to add because of the generation, you know, of the tape to keep it from being real bassy. And the sound, I mean, this guy was unbelievable as far as an engineer, and not only as a guitar player, but a super engineer to be able to do stuff. Because I listen to this stuff now, and I really didn't know back then, but I listen to it now, and I said, man, this is unreal. This guy was unreal.
Well, he's capturing what you did, actually. You did.
Yeah.
Did you do that stuff live in some, like, you played at like dances and stuff around school, and
right.
and you had that crazy sound then?
Yeah.
Did it drive people crazy?
Yeah.
You played on a lot of soul stuff too, right? Like Aretha
Yeah.
Franklin and.
A lot of stuff at Fame Studios, everything from Aretha Franklin, Wilson Pickett. I played on Fancy, the original version, Bobby Gentry, Mac Davis, Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me, Osmond Brothers, One Bad Apple, all that stuff. Just at the time, Muscle Shoals was really hot.
Right. Everybody came down here, right?
I'm probably one of the only musicians that I played on when the Righteous Brothers split up. I played on each one of them's album. They did an album when they were split up, so I was able to play. They called me. I played guitar on both of their albums, Well, Peter and Gordon, the two English guys that had a
Mm-hmm.
record.
Oh yeah.
They
Schmaltzy stuff.
they heard Scratchy, and they called the agency in Memphis that I was booking out of, Ray Brown Agency, and they wanted me to back on the tour, and I backed them on all three of their tours over there.
Oh really?
And, yeah, and they at the time Peter's sister was going with Paul McCartney, Jane Asher, and they were back and forth every day, and I talked with Harrison and all of them. They were all, they were just in awe, wanting to know how the sound and stuff and everything, And it did really, I don't know, it didn't really, do anything for me. But the last 2 or 3 years, one of the last shows I did with Richard, I was over in Europe, and Robert Plant and Jimmy Page came backstage, and of course my son came up and introduced himself to him. He said, "Are y'all want to see Richard?" And they said, "No, we want to see Travis Wammack." So I come over and introduced myself, and they said, we were sitting in the audience, and they said, and when Little Richard introduced you, said, Travis Wammack, they said, we both turned around and looked at each other and said, "Scratchy." So that,
They heard that
yeah,
stuff.
that made me feel good. When Jimmy Page told me that was what really influenced him to keep on playing when he heard that.
I mean,
Did you kind of like tone down your crazy sound when you played on a lot of those records?
Oh
or?
yeah, I had strictly played studio. When I did the Real Thing album with Little Richard in '69, he let me play my style. As a matter of fact, we used my demo on a song that I had written, Greenwood, Mississippi, that he recorded, and he didn't like the way it was being recorded, so he asked me, he said, where's the music of your version? I said, we've got it. He said, I want that. Can I put my vocal on that? I said, sure. And it was his first chart record since the Tutti Frutti days. It was on Warner Brothers, and he had 2 more off of that album. It's called the Real Thing album. And I didn't hear from Richard. That was back in '69. I didn't hear from him until '84. I was in my studio working. He called, and my wife came in and said, "You got a call?" And I said, "Who is it?" And he said, "Well, he says he's Little Richard." So I got on the phone, and just as soon as I heard his voice, I knew it was. And he said, "I want you to go to England with me to do a gospel album." And he said, "I want to use the same musicians that I used on the Real Thing album, if you can put them together." So I said, "Okay." So I checked around, and I was able to get the bass player, Jesse Boyce, and I couldn't run the drummer up, so I used a drummer that is one of the top producers in Nashville now, James Stroud, who was a great drummer, and he played on a lot of R&B stuff down in Jackson, Mississippi, Clean Up Woman, Betty Wright. And anyway, got him, and I got Billy Preston to play keyboard, so we went over there to do the gospel albums. That's when Richard started talking to me about. He asked me if I thought his music was the devil's music, and I said no. I said I always think of you're slipping and sliding and stuff like that, just good time music. He said, well, I'm wanting to start back, but he said I don't know, because he's an ordained minister. And so I told him, I said, Richard, I said, man, he said, well, the people, my fans are wanting me, and I said, that's what you need to do. And he said, well, I want you to put me a good Southern rock and roll band together. And so I did, and we started doing all these things, and he started getting popular, and was doing all the top shows, and it's like he just made the big circle, and but they're still doing good. But me and my son, who's a drummer, we like I said, I got scared of flying. I'd have panic attacks thinking about getting on the plane, and I just finally quit. And my son quit the same time I did, but it was fun. But now I'm back doing my own thing, and kind of this CD. I want to do stuff. But if you hear it, it's what I call Travis Wammack.
At the dark end of the street, that's where we always meet, hiding in shadows where we don't belong. take its toll, and we gotta pay for the love that we stole. And it's a sin, little girl, we know that it's wrong, but baby, our love keeps coming on strong. And tonight we'll be at the dark end of the street, you and me. They're gonna find us, they're gonna find us. Whoa, they're gonna find us someday, but tonight we'll steal away to the dark end of the street, you and me. And when daylight I rolls around, if you should take a walk downtown, if you see me, little girl, just walk on by. Oh, baby, please, please don't cry, 'cause tonight we'll meet at the dark end of the street, you and me. Yeah, just you and me. Baby, you and me. Tonight we'll meet at the dark end of the street, you and me. Changing chain of fools,
in the parking lot there.
Really? Did you?